Hello everybody, Brett here for TopoRanger. I'm with Ryan, Hiker Dude Dad today. And we are down by the river, not far from Grub Hollow and the Pequea boat launch. And we are looking for some old ruins of a place called Duck Tavern, which is right here. We're supposed to have a quarry, foundations, there's a well, and maybe a few other things that we might be able to find today, all right? So let's get started. I am not seeing any culvert yet. I don't see a stream, so it's possible there is no culvert. So this place, the Duck Tavern, was in existence quite a while. There's an old picture from the early 1900s, shows it basically abandoned, disrepair, but I think that photo was from like the 1920s. It was on a map from 1801, and then in the photo it had been abandoned, so it was around for a long time, doing business for a long time. I did not see any culvert at all. I guess there's no stream. Let's follow Ryan over here. I'm thinking the quarry, the sand quarry, used to be over there. I took a few minutes to look at the geology before I came here, and basically from what I can tell, this hill is the schist, which would kind of make sense if that's where they were quarrying some sand, because the schist can be broken down into a real sandy kind of material. And this hill is the Conestoga limestone, which is a limestone that outcrops a lot in Lancaster County. And then right over on top here, there's a little sliver of the vintage dolomite. But we're basically standing on the contact between the schist and the Conestoga limestone. Now there is a well here, supposedly, a stone lined well. According to the Susquehanna Ramblers, I read their post, I looked at their pictures, and so did Ryan. And according to them, there is a well here, so I'd be interested to see what that well is constructed out of. This tavern was located along the raftsmen's path, or the loggers path. And basically that was a well-traveled trail that took the guys who steered the log rafts from Marietta down to Peach Bottom, which is about a 16-mile walk. And they would ride the rafts down, and then they would drop them off at Peach Bottom and walk this path the whole way back to Marietta, and I guess do it all again. That would have been a major source of revenue, but as you probably already know, those days didn't last forever, and the raftsmen eventually stopped doing their rafting. They used to do that all up and down the Susquehanna, but I'm assuming there were some local guys who specialized in the Marietta to Peach Bottom route. I think this is what I saw in the Ramblers post. Perhaps this is part of the foundation. And this looks like...
Way to go, man.
This looks like schist and sandstone and stuff.
That looks like the pictures that they had too.
That's that one, yeah.
Definitely.
It's definitely not limestone. There's a hole up there. I wonder if that's the well. I like wells. They always look cool. You know, they're easy to take cool photos of. That's just an indentation in the side of the ridge. Maybe over here's a little bit more foundation over there. There it is. I see the well. Bingo, right there. And I'm seeing some foundations here too. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, hey, look at that. There's a whole wall there. So this is it right here. I'm glad I was actually even able to make it today. I got up, was on a tight morning schedule, getting kids ready, getting them in the car to drop them off where they pick off the bus. And first thing I noticed when I get out in the driveway is I got a flat tire. I'm like, I got like an hour window. Ryan was nice enough to wait for me though, so I was about 45 minutes late. I'll leave his stuff, his channel in the description below. Go subscribe to his channel. He's got tons of videos from this area because he lives on the Lancaster side. I live on the York side. And there's the wall. And here's all the debris. Look at this. A lot of stuff falling down here. I wonder if this is the wall to the actual tavern, the foundation for the tavern itself, or perhaps some other structure. Ryan said there was also a stable To me, that looks like the foundation of a pretty large structure, though. How long can we go before I fall? The Archie blows. It's 3 feet thick. Do you need a 3 foot thick foundation for a stable? Off the top of my head, I'd say no. This has to be the foundation for the actual tavern itself, the Duck Tavern. Luckily, I'm wearing my thorn jacket, so I can go in here without having to worry too much about thorns. So there's the corner, and right here, you can see the continuation of the wall, and then there's some big breach, a big collapse happened. All that stuff's going that way. This seems awfully small. Let's try to outline a foundation. Goes over to there, to there, and then across. Somewhere between 20 and 30 feet square. Let's go over here. There's the upriver wall. Here's the other corner. I think we were already over here. So from corner to corner, 35, 40 feet. Is that big enough for a tavern? Or are you thinking this might be the stable? The wall over there is 3 feet thick. So I can't imagine a stable would require a foundation that was 3 feet. Like this has got to be a big structure, which would mean it was the actual tavern itself. That wall over there, that small piece of the wall right there, I'm not sure what that is. I don't think that's a foundation though. And here's the well.
Down that far side over there.
Oh yeah, there.
I don't know. I don't have much light.
Was that aluminum siding or something in there?
That's what it looks like. Like somebody threw that down there to block it off, you know.
And look at the walls of this well. That's like almost 2 feet thick. I got a flashlight. We can take a peek down in there. All right, here comes the big reveal.
Yeah.
It doesn't go down very far.
Yeah.
All right, so it's got this white metal siding. It actually looks like maybe fiberglass based upon what I'm seeing. Oh, he's sending a probe down. Here, I'll light it up.
Light me up.
It almost looks like one of those blue plastic tote lids there. You got enough light there? Hold on.
Put it on the tote thing. Yeah, I just want to see if I'll be able to see what that is. Okay.
Yeah, send that off to the lab for analysis. I can't get the light under the lip anymore from this angle, so whatever you're seeing there is about all you're gonna get, unfortunately. That's too bad. I was hoping it went down further. It looks like it was well constructed though, so it probably went down 10, 15 feet originally. And it's right next to the foundations here. That's the river, foundations. Well, there's a brick, perhaps, from the Duck Tavern itself. From the picture, it looked kind of like I'd say like a wood structure, but it's not a close-up shot. I'll put that up on the screen again. So this tavern was kept in business, at least partially, by the raftsmen. And you gotta wonder just all the stuff that happened in the tavern, and I guess they slept there, or maybe they just drank and ate there. But there would be various stops along this path, this 16-mile raftsmen's trail, where there would be, you know, taverns and inns. Sometimes people would sell the people walking the path stuff like right from their house, you know, provisions and stuff. 16 miles. I'm not sure how long it took them, at least a day, right? But just think of all the conversations that happened in the tavern, all the stories being told. And the structure is on the map, the Latrobe map from 1801. So it might have even been here before that. Yeah, the question I have is what finally put it out of business? Did the owner die? Obviously the numbers of the raftsmen started to dwindle over the years as that whole occupation, that whole lifestyle got phased out, as it did everywhere up and down the Susquehanna. And then one day they just said, that's it, we're closing up, and they just walked out. The building in that black and white picture is still standing. It's overgrown, but it's not completely dilapidated. You gotta wonder how long had it been since they gave up on the business, moved out, and when that picture was taken. Could have been 20 years, could have been 40 years, could have been 5 years. So we're seeing a flat space here that looks kind of like a road, or I'm thinking more like a wagon trail, and it leads right to the foundations. So if you were coming from that direction, maybe this is what you would take if you had a wagon or something. So we came up the hill just a little bit. Quarry is over there, and then we came up here, and supposedly there's a stable here somewhere, and we found these, which is another sizable foundation. Not quite as thick as the one down there, but still solid. Got that one piece of the white quartzite there. I haven't seen anything that looks like Conestoga limestone yet, but this is a big wall. Goes over, it looks like it extends this whole side here. So maybe this was a stable. The back wall might have caved in at some point. It looks like it's a long structure. It almost kind of has the shape of what you would think of as a stable. It doesn't have the layout of a house or anything. And here's the other end, but it definitely runs this way. So here to the wall is probably 40 or 50 feet. And then from this wall, which I guess would be the back wall up against the hill, to where Ryan is, which I would think would represent the corner of it, or maybe it's over here more. Right there. So it's a long rectangle, which to me says it's not a house. Anybody out there familiar with stables or construction of them, historically speaking, is this the floor plan of a stable? In terms of the layout of the compound here, so the tavern's down there, the well, and then up here at a slightly higher elevation we have this, which we're thinking is the stable, and then the road that goes out of the hollow goes up there. So it would make sense to have a stable here, I guess, is what I'm grasping at.
Come in that road, park your horse 100 yards down the road, and you're at the tavern.
And then on the way out, you just come get your horse or whatever.
Get watered up here, you go down there, get watered, come back and
get
liquored up.
I imagine there must have been some wild nights down at the Duck Tavern with all of the raftsmen, and it's dangerous, right? They could die pretty much any time. Yeah. So they probably lived life on the edge and probably lived fast and maybe died young. I don't know.
Not only did they raft down the river, then they had to hike 16 miles back.
Right.
So you're going to come here, you're going to unwind, you're going to,
spend your money,
yeah.
Drink. Was a tavern a place where you'd stay, or was it only for eating and drinking?
The pictures don't look super big. I think it was just eating and drinking.
It didn't seem like a big structure, but if it was just a place to go and drink and get some food on your way to your next stop, because they had to keep going.
16-mile hike back, that's probably a 2-day trip.
They might have stopped there in the morning for breakfast and a quick pint, and then just kept going. On the map, there was also the Burkholder ferry, which Ryan's telling me turned into the Shanks ferry, which kind of looped around the bottom of Vice Island there and then popped here. So they also would have gotten business from people coming on ferries and then going farther inland towards Lancaster or going over to the York County side. Tavern foundation is right there. There's Ryan. He's down in that hole there. I want to go back up here just around the side of this ridge because I want to see if we can just spot the Conestoga limestone to satisfy my own curiosity. And there is a trail right here, which I'm going to use to get up out of the thicket there. There's the river. There it goes. Who knows, perhaps this is a remnant of the old raftsmen's trail. A nice outcrop here, which to me does not look like limestone. That looks like I don't know. That almost looks like quartzite. Or maybe the schist. Let's go a little bit further down, see if we can't find it. We have even bigger outcrop here, and this has been blasted out. That doesn't look like the vintage dolomite or the Conestoga limestone. To me, that looks like quartzite or schist. So Ryan thinks that they were digging the sand down here. I'm thinking it might have been on this hillside.
I think that's the, so across here. Right
See how
here.
you can, the ridge, you can kind of see the original line of it, and it's gone.
And then this.
That's the quarry face, which is...
But this big right here is this.
Yeah. This, and then all those cliffs
So,
going back
right
that
where
way.
This house is, I think.
Yeah.
Is where the quarry was.
All right, we're back at the Pequea boat launch. We're going to wrap this episode up by going down the road just a little bit, and there's a spring. We think we know where there's a spring with a spring house, and apparently this spring used to be thought of as something special in terms of the water. So it's right down the road. So let's go do that. This shot shows you all of the water coming out. It all kind of collects up there, but I think that's the total flow. Here you can really see it. That's not a bad amount of water. Like I said, coming from the spring and the schist, I think most of the time they're pretty small, but that's a fair amount of water. I see a stone wall there, and then there's something right here. I can hear running water too. All right, that has a hole in it too, but I don't think that's it. Okay. That's interesting. That's a very, very old pipe there. See that? I don't know if this is the one. I think there's more than one spring here. Huh. There's an I-beam in there? That's interesting.
There was like a dance pavilion and a York Furnace Spring Park.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. That's a huge soggy area right there. Yeah, this definitely goes into something. There's an I-beam, another I-beam. I mean, look at the way that's just corroded. It's got that very old metal look. I don't know what this is here, but it's some type of structure with something opening up in there.
The Riverview Hotel, that was literally pointed back that way. They piped in water from here.
Oh, so
and,
maybe
you know, with their like rich vacationing clientele, all that kind of stuff. And basically they treated this spring as like almost a fountain of youth.
I need a lot of that water.
My birthday's coming up, I gotta get on that. But yeah, this is literally pointed back towards where the Riverview Hotel would have been.
What is this, like a pillar to mark the spot of the spring, or is this an old something? And then there's this.
Oh, this is yeah, there's a.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, this.
What the heck
maybe
is
this
this?
is it. It looks bigger in the pictures.
You think this is it?
I don't know.
I thought it was up there because there's
Yeah.
more, there's another concrete thing up there.
From this direction. Okay, so Brett set up a light there. And yeah, we are flowing. Arch on the bottom. But,
Oh yeah, you can see back in there. Yeah, it looks like bedrock. There's a little tunnel back in there, huh? Put this back on there, like that, like we found it. And let's head up here, because this might be where
so Brett was just there. There's a tower.
the main attraction is. I think it's right there.
Come up on.
Wow. That's a lot of water.
Gushing. Absolutely gushing.
I've never seen a spring in the schist like that, pushing out that much water. So this was a whole park here, he was saying, where people would come and relax, drink the healing waters of the York Furnace Spring. And there's an old road up here. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. Thanks to Ryan for having me along, checking out the old Duck Tavern ruins there. If you had a good time, don't be shy. Hit subscribe, all right? This is Brett for TopoRanger, and I will see you in the next episode.